if you love games, but you're kind of trash at them. Yeah, I get it. Sometimes you don't get better, you get creative, because grinding for weeks just to still get smoked. Not for me. So I built this on iPhone, a real-time ESP overlay. Watch the boxes stick to targets and the distances update as I move. Now for the boring part, Theos, makefiles, headers, classic iOS tweak live. I'll set up the project, get it injecting cleanly, and then we'll make the overlay behave. Alright, to start a new project, I run Theos bin-nick.pl. That opens up a list of templates, and here I'm picking iPhone tweak, since we're making a tweak for iOS. Then it asks for the project name, I'll just call it lol for now. And after that, the bundle identifier, I'll go with something simple like comma-lol. Now we need to get the apps bundle identifier. Easiest way. Just change the apps extension to zip, unzip it, and look for the info.plist file inside. In there, we're looking for the key called CF bundle identifier. Once you find it, just copy the value. We'll paste that into our tweak config. And that's it. The project is now fully set up. Now let's grab the files we need. For the ESP drawing part, we'll use a snippet from Busman. It's on GitHub. Just download the zip and drag the two main files into your project. We'll also need a vector3h file. That one's easy to find. Just search for vector3h online and drop it into the project as well. Now let's rename our tweakx file to tweakxm so we can use Objective-CC inside. Next, we'll set up the make file with a few basic tweaks. First, we add the arch parameter and set it to ARM64, since we're targeting modern iOS devices. And then we tell Theos that the tweak should be rootless. And finally, we add a couple of new files to get ready for the next step. I don't want to waste your time, so I've already written the code beforehand. All right, let's take a look at the code. It's under 100 lines, but it covers everything we need, from hooking to drawing ESP elements on screen. Nothing too fancy, but it gets the job done. And now let's start with the offsets. We'll be using functions exposed by Unity. So first we need to locate the ones that matter. All right, so now let's talk about how we actually get the offsets we need to make this whole thing work. We're dealing with a Unity-based game here, and that means it's built on IL2 CPP. Unity is a head-off-time compilation backend, which compiles C number scripts down into native code. To reverse engineer that structure and find the methods we care about, we need to extract certain key files from the app first. What I'm using here is a tool called IL2 CPP dumper, made by Perfare. You can find it on GitHub. It's a really well-known tool in the reverse engineering scene for Unity games. And it's almost always the first step in getting a working map of classes and methods. So I've already unpacked the EPVI, and what I'm doing now is grabbing two essential files. The first one is the Unity framework binary. That's where all the native code lives. The second one is the global metadata .dat file, which contains information about the IL2 CPP compiled classes, methods, and their layout. With both of those ready, we can now run IL2 CP dumper. I'll show you the exact command I'm using. What this does is take the binary and metadata and generate a structured dump of everything, classes, methods, fields, with their addresses and signatures. It's basically a full map of what's available inside the Unity runtime. Once that's done, we open the generated dump, and this is where things get interesting. You can use any text editor or IDD to browse it. What I usually do is search by class. Let's take a simple example. I'm searching for component, one of the core-based classes in Unity. In this case, I'm looking for the getTransform method. This one is really useful because it gives you access to the transform component of any GAM object. Once I find it, I take note of the address. This is the offset we'll later use in our hook to call that method at runtime. And just like that, we've got a reliable way to locate internal Unity methods we want to use. This approach works pretty much any class or method inside Unity, whether you're accessing transforms, game state, rendering, whatever. So now that we've got that offset mapped, we can start wiring it up in our tweak. All right, let's go over the code real quick. At the top, we import system frameworks like UIKit and Substrate, plus a few custom headers, one for vector math, one for drawing on screen. We set up some globals, a pointer to our ESP view, a reference to the main window, and a couple of function pointers for Unity's internal methods. There's a helper called getRealOffset, which finds the actual runtime address of Unity functions by scanning loaded images. Since offsets change with ASLR, this is how we resolve them properly. Then we've got the main hook, new body update. It runs every frame for each bot, gets the transform, grabs word position, converts it to screen space, and draws a box and line if the entity is visible. The setup function links all the Unity methods using the offsets we dumped earlier and installs a hook using the shook function. Finally, in the constructor, we wait a few seconds, grab the app window, add our ESP view on top, and initialize everything. That's the basic flow, memory offsets in on-screen visuals out. Now that everything's set up, we can go ahead and build the tweak. I'm just running make package. That'll compile the project, link everything together, and spit out a deb file we can install on device. If everything builds clean, that means the offsets are valid and the project is wired up correctly. Once the deb is ready, we can install it using Filza, Cilio, or push it manually, whatever you prefer. All right, so after installing the deb, we just launch the game like normal. And here it is, the is up and running. You can see it drawing boxes and lines over the targets. This isn't some static overlay, it's fully real time. We're pulling world positions straight from Unity's memory, transforming them into screen coordinates, and rendering on top of the screen using core graphics, no external tools, no PC involved. This is all happening on device. Every box adjusts dynamically based on distance and FOV. So as I move, you notice the sizes scale naturally. It's also checking visibility. So if something's not in front of the camera, we skip drawing. There's a slight delay at first launch, but once it hooks in, it's pretty much instant every frame. You'll also notice that as I pan or move around, the lines and boxes stay locked perfectly.